The Nightster Startup's a little different here. You have this thing and then you press the button in the center once you turn it to the right or bring the lever down. So far, there's very little vibration. I'm assuming the motor's counterbalanced completely with the new Revolution motor. So there's very, very little vibration, hardly any at all. Ooh, this is different. So if you're used to riding Harley's cruiser line, which is what I'm used to riding, I have never ridden anything other than that. The closest thing to this I've ridden is the regular Sportster. This is very different from that. It's a very different feel. Like I said earlier, there is no vibration in the engine, that typical Harley, you know, shaking that you would think. It's a very smooth engine, and the shifter, the transmission in this is completely different from that Harley clunk that all their other cruisers have. It's very clicky. I'm assuming it would probably be closer to a metric bike than a Harley, but I've never ridden a metric bike, so I wouldn't know how that feels. The seating positions, a little lean forward. I'm 5'5", 5'4", around there. So you are hunched over a little bit. It's a sportier seating position. Handlebars are pretty wide. I don't know if you guys can tell, but got a lot of leverage on these bad boys. Obviously, with any bike you're not familiar with riding, it's going to take a little bit to adjust and get used to where all the controls are. You don't get very much time to acclimate yourself to these motorcycles on these demo rides. It's pretty much hurry, 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 get out there and get back. So you're kind of learning as you're going. Most controls are the same on most motorcycles, but they're all a little different. They may vary by model, obviously, and especially by manufacturer. And we're in 6th gear, so it's nice to have a 6th gear on a Sportster. I remember my Sportster with only 5. That thing would scream on a highway if I went past 70. It probably screamed around 70 or before that anyway. But yeah, this is a different ride. If you haven't ridden it, I would recommend you do so. It might be the motorcycle for you. I'm not endorsed by Harley. I'm just out here to ride the motorcycles and do a little mini review on the short ride that we have to do so. Suspension isn't that bad. It feels nice and tight, but it's not harsh at all. It's pretty smooth for a smaller motorcycle, actually. I'm kind of surprised. Yeah, these turn signals both on the left handlebar. It's going to take some getting used to. And the seat height is very low on this, so for you shorter riders, that's a plus. Yeah, she don't sound like a Harley right now. Well, everything's stock, so that is why. That's a little shifter you get. Tiny little thing. And in case you're wondering, we are here in Bucks County, Pennsylvania. Here we go with that weird turn signal again. So if you guys have any questions about anything I may not have covered, because I can't cover everything in this short video, but I may have experienced it and may be able to give you some insight, just leave a comment down below and I will respond. It's got good pickup. I don't know, I kind of like it. And the clutch lever is adjustable. Woo! Transmission's different. I know I said that before, but it's different, and not in a bad way. It's just so different from what I'm used to. So if you don't know, I came from obviously a Sportster. Iron 883. I only started riding about 5 years ago. A Sportster Iron 883. Moved on to a Softail Slim. Went on to a Road King. Then a Street Glide Special. And then now with the Street Glide CVO. So I don't know anything other than cruisers. So this is a whole nother language to me. It's a liquid cooled engine, solid mounted. The motor is a stressed member of the chassis. It provides rigidity to the frame. So it is, from what I feel, it is fully counterbalanced. Just like the Softail line. It is a rigid mounted frame. There are no rubber motor mounts like the Touring line or the old Sportster. That is also a stressed member of the motorcycle, so it is used to give more strength, make everything nice and taut and stiff, and it handles pretty well. This thing is fun. It's a fun motorcycle. If I had to put a word on it, one word, it would be fun. But if you're looking for that Harley feel, that traditional Harley feel, this is not your motorcycle. But regardless, this may be the motorcycle for you. I mean, you may be in the market. This might be the exact motorcycle you're looking at. And to me, it's a nice looking motorcycle. It's very nice. I like what they did with the lines, the paint scheme, the graphics. It's nice. It's a different, it's a little departure from their traditional stuff. And I think that's what Harley needs right now. They're coming into a market where they're trying to acquire younger buyers, and they have to go with the trends and satisfy the needs and the style of the younger generation. I think this bike does that. From the little time I've had to ride it, it does it well. And for any of those that are thinking about purchasing this motorcycle as a beginner motorcycle, that's probably what I would do with it. I'd classify it as a beginner motorcycle. Then maybe move up to something a little bigger. But for everything you need, just starting out, I mean, this is a great model for that. The weight is low. That's something that, you know, is kind of a factor when you're just starting out. Harleys can be intimidating because they are heavy motorcycles. They're heavier than average than other manufacturers. So weight is something, you know, can you manage it? Is the seat height low enough for you to ride comfortably and confidently, which is the most important part? Are you confident on the motorcycle? This seating position, the weight, the way everything is set up, I think it instills confidence in riding. And I've only been on it for 5 or 10 minutes now. You know, I do have some riding experience, but putting myself in the shoes of a new rider, I like it. I think you can't go wrong with this. And if your ultimate goal is a traditional cruiser, this still isn't a bad choice. I mean, you can work your way up to that if that's what you wish, or just go straight to it. But like I said, they are completely different feels. They shift differently. The clutch is super, super soft on this. I mean, very little effort at all is required to manipulate this clutch to bring it in, so you won't get fatigued. With the traditional cable clutches from Harley on their cruisers, the clutch is a little more firm. You do need a little more muscle to bring it in. In traffic, that can be fatiguing. But this guy right here, this clutch, super, super soft. And also the controls, they're all completely different than a traditional Harley-Davidson. Normally the turn signals are on the left and right side of the handlebars. This is different. It's both signals are on the left side. So that'll take some getting used to, but if it's your first motorcycle, that's all you'll know. High beam switch is different. The starting sequence is the same, but the buttons are different, as you can see. The speedometer is very similar to the Softail line. I just think it's smaller in diameter to look proportionate with the motorcycle, the smaller motorcycle. But it looks pretty much the same. I notice it's not as torquey as a regular cruiser. There is plenty of power. The power is plenty adequate, but it just doesn't have that rip from the throttle when you initially take off or crack the throttle. But this is a higher horsepower engine. It's I think its strong point is horsepower, then torque comes second, and with the cruisers it's kind of the other way around. Those are torque machines, and you know, the horsepower is second in line. Power's down low on those guys, and this one I feel like you gotta wind it out, rev it out a good bit, not too much, but more so than normal to get the power out of it. But don't let that discourage you. There is very nice power with this thing. It just delivers it at a different point in the power band. And these motors rev higher as well. It's a much higher revving motor than the regular V-twin, the Milwaukee 8, that's in the other cruiser bikes. And the good thing is with these, Harley has already put out a ton of accessories. They're good with that. I'm sure there will be plenty of aftermarket accessories to follow if that's what you choose to do. you know, because everybody wants to customize their motorcycle and make it their own. So there is a good market for that. The parts, I don't know about their availability, but they're there. They do exist. And I know with time, I'm sure more and more aftermarket makers will start developing stuff for it too. So to conclude, it's a very nice motorcycle. I would recommend it for a new rider. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
I get